Okay. I, yeah. So I'm going to attempt, um, I'm going to attempt an hour of streaming here. This is a different setting, obviously. The lighting is amazing. And I just have my laptop. So my aim here is just to make sure I get my hour of game design in. And it should be a pretty straightforward day. Anyway, so I don't have two screens here, and what that means is I may kind of flip back and forth between like checking comments and stuff, and then focusing on just my main screen as usual. So anyway, it's a different situation. Still excited about it though because I am pretty much, as far as I know, I'm pretty much ready for a full play test of Sugar Shack. It's amazing that I've been doing almost an hour a day on Sugar Shack with lots of help from Mike, and it's wild to me how it seems like a design could go on forever, and this has been a pretty good example. I know I'm confident that I'm close to something playable, something enjoyable, and the main thing is just getting it to a point where it's pitchable. So that means, in general, I think that means it's certainly not broken. The game flows well. People I play test with give generally positive feedback. Because I think what I did here with Sugar Shack at the very beginning was move forward with some kind of confidence that the concept was good, but it was generally untested. And I think the response that I got from the two publishers I sent it to, one was Galen's Games, the other was AEG. AEG, I mean, it'd be amazing if AEG picked something like this up. But the game was very much in concept form, and now that we put so much work into it, day by day, I think it's actually getting close to, something that is not conceptual anymore, but it's pitchable. So, what's next? It's just playtesting a bunch, getting people in the community to give feedback, because now I think it's basically in the, hopefully, if this works, if these first early playtests work, then what I'm hoping is that it's basically in, what, I wonder if I can, I don't want to waste bandwidth because I can see I have an LTE connection on my phone. But I wonder if, is there a way to make sure that the connection is still good? That's amazing. I don't see, okay, I do see that I'm live. I wonder if I can see comments. That would be interesting. Okay, it looks like I can. So I'm going to leave that up. Hopefully that doesn't destroy the stream. Anyway, we'll see about this. Because definitely I can feel that my laptop is heating up. I'm going to make a couple changes. Sorry if the audio is horrible as well. I think it's just the nature of not having a decent mic. You should hear some fan noise and stuff, but anyway, we'll just see how this goes. So, okay, the goals here right now are that I'd like to update, just write some, describe some updates here in Discord, and then actually get to a playtest. So, so a few main changes. These ones include expanding community projects. Right. This has been a big deal. So now I have two versions of philanthropy, which is basically just spending money to support projects. Philanthropy. Two versions of philanthropy. one of I'll just call it volunteering. That's where you're sending sending workers, extra workers that you gain in various ways. You're sending extra workers to the community project. And then the last one was gardening. I doubt that one's going to stick, but at least it's kind of interesting. Okay, so those are the main, like that's a big deal. If this idea sticks, and then we have various versions of an endgame trigger category, or within an endgame trigger category, I think that's actually really cool, and I think it'll lend to replayability. Okay, and then what else has changed? Reduced number of cubes in week 2. Okay, so that should speed up the middle game, so that it feels like there's more urgency to work on the various. Oh, it's actually so that the end game trigger related to cubes actually feels more relevant, because at this point it doesn't seem to. Okay. Definitely been tweaking values of community projects. What else? Community projects. Mayor's favorite cards. I've added Mayor's favorite card, which is the Gearhead. Other big changes are related to the Sugar Shack. Evaporator, actually, more specifically, evaporator filling changes. These can now happen. These, instead of committing to filling the evaporator in a certain way during upkeep, like when you're running the evaporator, those changes are happening instead during the round, so you can update that way. Or fill. You can fill that way. Evaporator filling changes. Fill during the round. So in other words, you're deciding to commit a worker or spend money during the round, and it's also as a free action. So filled during the round rather than during upkeep as a free action. The reason it needs to be considered a free action is that what you don't want is somebody taking a dead turn to wait out somebody. So in other words, I think we want like full actions. Well, you could still basically do this. If you have a lot of workers, you can take single worker actions until the other player is basically out of actions, and then you could go in and do the main thing you wanted to do. So you can still do it, but there are fewer options, fewer ways of doing that, because a free action wouldn't count as a main action. It's the same with what are some of these other games, like Lost Ruins of Arnak? There are lots of free actions, and they could have built it so that you could play out that these actions count as turn actions or main actions. But then you could just kind of spend these little, you could gain a little money, gain some compasses or whatever, and sort of wait and see what the other player's going to do. And then once they're done, then you can just do whatever you want. So that doesn't seem right. I think that's it for the most part. Anyway, I'll add a date, and then I'll shift over to TTS and actually play test. I'm surprised that this connection is actually keeping up. I wonder how the audio is. So if you're hearing me okay, please let me know. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that here. These are some pretty exciting changes because no matter what. Oh, I also changed the grant office upgrades are different. So specifically, actions cost. This would be D. D. Actions cost 1 meeple. That's pretty nuts, or 1 worker. It really is a wild change. Then I'm gonna see if the grant office area fills up enough for grants to be more relevant as a type of upgrade. So anyway, it's also good that I don't feel so much pressure to keep, like I'm actually, oh no, I do have to keep one of these open. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to stream. Okay, let me bring up, oh, what can I kill here? Zoom, gone. GoPro, gone. I used to use a GoPro camera to do like top-down view of my table when I was still teaching, or I was making videos for yeah, I'm gonna plug in my phone here. I was making videos for my Pathfinder game. By the way, there's some really cool stuff I don't know that I really talked about in detail here, but the Pathfinder game, it's kind of stalled out, right? I'm not making any sales. I see every now and then I make 1 sale or something like that online, and then I'll get whatever, so, a little bit of money from that, which is great. But I've been in talks with a university program director, and he is. So I'm going to close this now. So everything looks like it's doing okay. It's interesting. Twitch, I don't know what to do about Twitch. Like, what's a good way, like, to encourage more people to get interested in game design in Twitch? I have no idea. Okay. So I think I updated, I'm pretty sure I updated this yesterday. By the way, I had a great time connected with students over the last 3 days, but wow, that was an unusual expenditure of energy. I'm happy to put it that way. I slept in this morning, aware that I was coming to school, knowing that I didn't want to be crashing at school. I feel great right now, but it also meant that I put off streaming. Anyway, here I am in TTS. I'm actually really impressed with the low latency here with YouTube, at least. Okay, so I got some decent sleep last night. I think I woke up a couple of times, but ended up waking up more thoroughly around 6:30, 6:50, something like that. So anyway, I'm glad to be feeling good at school today. So here is the updated version. We have this one I'm pretty excited about. I mentioned that in D, that indicates that everything is going to cost, that all buildings will cost at most 1 meeple. So to me, that's insane. I don't know if that, I imagine that will be attractive. It's probably more, well, if you think about it, yes, that's powerful, especially as you gain more meeples with the upgrade and then potentially in other ways. But if you think about the value, so if remembering that 1 meeple equals 2 power, 1 worker equals 2 power, then you can save up to 4 power per action. So that's good, right? Like, well, the only one that you're really doing that is the grant office. So here you're saving 2 power at most. But it still means you're able to stretch out the number of actions. You're able to stretch yourself out in each round by having more turns. So so I think that'll be a really sweet upgrade. But still, if you're thinking about value, then that upgrade is it's good, but it's at most 4 power that you're saving. At least, well, you could be saving 0 power if you're just taking a regular action that requires 1 worker. But you could be saving 2 or 4 power. That's great. But here, if you're looking at A, then the cost reduction to have more cubes is actually greater. In this case, it's 2 plus 3, because normally the cost is 3 money and 1 worker to fill up your evaporator. So you're actually gaining the value of 5 power here, and that's every turn. And that would also be relevant if you're like trying to race to the end of the game. So if you're trying to drain the sugar bush, then this is still a pretty powerful upgrade. Partly because it accelerates draining, because you just get for free, you get to fill up your evaporator. You don't have to worry about like efficiency of making sure you keep the right number of workers and keep your money straight. Here you just gain those cubes. In B, it's not really a value situation, rather it's a flexibility situation. So in B, there is no longer the blocking. You get to ignore the blocking rule when it comes to using to activating locations. So I think I haven't thought super critically about it, but what I think that means is you actually could just copy even your own action. So I think that's fine. It's one reason I'm going to be playtesting this. I probably should aim for specific upgrades. Okay, and then C, the upgrade for C that's all about gaining extra workers for the next turn. So one of them, it depends on the community project, but one of them could go up to not this community project, but the volunteer one. And then you could gain 3 extra workers. The main thing about having extra workers is just having a huge turn, like where you just get a lot of stuff done. So rather than taking 4 or 5 rounds to do certain things, you could do that all in 1 round. So you could take a big leap in terms of building your engine. The only issue would be that if the other player is filling up the spots, then you might run out of options. But then I think you would be focusing on high value locations. And if you're pressuring the other player to block you, well, they're also going to be burning a bunch of workers to do that. So anyway, let's see how this goes. I hope that at some point during this playtest, it will make sense to use a grant office upgrade. But all right, I'll get started. So the first thing to happen, okay, so now there are 7 Mayor's Favorite cards. I'm going to remove 1 from the game. There are only 6 remaining, but that means that there is some uncertainty in what's going to show up here. So the first one comes out. This is Market Monkey. It'll sit right on top of Closer B Market. It's a big payout, but the trouble is we need to make sure to earn 8 money before being able to gain that card. Okay, so the first player is red over here. And I think the first thing to do, because this is unavailable, now I need to get some money going. So what I know it's sad, but I'm going to drop the 2 workers over here, roll the die. Okay, and gain 6 money off of that. 6 money. So now I do have enough. So it's at 9. Red does have enough to take the market monkey next time, so that'll be a big deal. But now they're out of the round. Oh, they did spend a cube to activate Farland Market. Okay, now with 2 workers, blue can take their time, and I think, actually, you know what? There's no need. I think it would be interesting to make progress, a lot of progress here on the gift shop, and this is also gaining 6 money. So here, so what we do is use all 3 cubes. I know that's a lot. Use all 3 cubes there, but now we're in a position to gain some extra workers. And that's it. Are they spending any free actions? Or is 1 cube enough for next round? That's the question. Because they could both spend, yeah. I think we'll just leave it. Okay, so now recover meeples. Like this. There are no extra meeples. Fill from the evaporator. Fill for free the white spaces. And then red goes again. So red is going to take, interesting problem. Red is going to take this card, spend 8, but gain, well, are they going to gain the 12 right away? I don't think so. Let's see if there's a more opportune moment. It is a free action. Actually, I should say, in this case, the market monkey is a free action because it doesn't require, is that an important detail? Probably not. I was thinking that activating and using these Mayor's favorite cards would be a free action, but should it be a free action or should you take a turn to do it? I think it's a free action. The reason is because typically you would need to activate the location. In this case, you don't have to. That's what the little the worker with the cancel symbol on top of it. That means there's no need to activate any location. You're not spending a meeple or worker in order to like activate a location and then gain this benefit. So really, this is a free action that can be used anytime. And okay, so this is gone. This was placed here, so we'll just send it back to the supply. And that was their turn. Okay. Now, so this guy could go for the upgrade, just go right away. And that seems reasonable to me. So it was at 9, it'll be back at 1. And what upgrade did they want? I think, well, that's the vehicle upgrade, so that's about barrels. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to go for barrels here. And so now blue is out of the round, essentially, unless they want to spend. They cannot spend money, actually. Never mind. And then one more meeple. What do they want? They just want to, oh, you know what? This needs to come out. So Farland fuel. I think just money, right? Yeah, I don't think they're close enough to barrel to the end of the round. Well, this is already 2 cubes toward the grant then, so that's actually good news for pacing. And then that's it. So gather meeples back. It's a little bit of a shame that that blue didn't have 10 money, but that's okay. I think these barrels now will be interesting. Okay, so shift these over. I think he makes a barrel right here. So remember, you can reorganize your cubes. Reorganize your cubes anytime between rounds, like during upkeep. You can reorganize these cubes. I mean, that only matters if you have a vehicle, the upgraded vehicle or upgraded garage. It might be nice to get first player. Huh. Okay, go again. You know what? I think this one is going to take the money. So it's at 1 right now. So this will be 11, 12, 13. So that's a big deal. And maybe should have done that at the end of last turn so that this meeple would be available now, but maybe not. Maybe it doesn't matter. The thing is, I think this upgrade is happening now, and they are going to go for the big one. Okay, so that's good. There's no need to spend cubes, but that is their turn. Okay, now blue can like take their time. So blue's going to go here with a barrel. So I really like how this marking turned out. I thought of it as the opposite at first, as in at first you would cover your color, but now that I realize you just might as well cover the opponent's color, and this is a blue barrel, so that's what that means. Okay, so red, can red take any actions? You know what? No, because they're out of meeple, so blue's going to go again. They don't have any cubes, so the thing they can do is take first player marker. And look at this top card. Okay, Gearhead. So they're actually, this player, blue, is in a very good situation to get Gearhead. I'll explain once Farland Fuel is gone. Okay, so anyway, so that's it. So regain, recover meeples. Okay, this is going to be pretty tough now on red. I'm sorry, on blue, because red now has double the action power, basically. But it is blue's turn to go first. Oh, let me finish this situation. I actually think, okay, they spent 10 to do that. They probably would have spent 3. I forgot to do this, but they probably would have spent 3. They probably would have spent 3 to fill up here. So I'm going to have them spend 3 to do that, and then so that would have been here 1, 2, 3, and then here. So they're actually qualified to get Farland Fuel. Blue's in an interesting situation still because they have the potential to gain some power here, especially when the end of the round hits, because they're going to get a big payout from the barrel, and then those cubes are going to go to the grant office. Okay. So it's the next round, and blue has 1 meeple. I wonder if blue just really goes in for these big payouts at the warehouse. It's getting closer. Like there will be 2 or 3 more rounds before this card flips. So let's see what happens. Anyway, I think, oh, this needs to come back. So I think there's really no rush here except to get the free upgrade. So I think, well, actually, this is pretty strong. So we'll take this. These 4 cubes go away. They just go back to the supply. That's what those X's mean. Okay, and then what this means is next time a player would activate the hardware store, they gain an upgrade for free. So this is pretty nuts. But now this one comes out and covers the upgrade. So this is actually kind of interesting. The trouble for red is that red has cubes in the Grand Office. So this is not perfectly clear iconography, but what this means is the condition to gain this card is that you cannot have cubes in the Grand Office. So that's the idea. So blue does not, red does. But anyway, what is blue going to do? Is blue going to take this right away to allow red to have their upgrade for free, or is he going to do something else? I think he has a little time. I think he's going to do something else. The only issue is that I need some money, but no cubes. So actually, the only thing to do here is spend the meeple. Oh, there's no cube either. No, so I think instead of staying the round, because I don't really like the idea that you could just block the first player. Should we play like that or not? That you could just block the first player. This seems kind of dirty, but I don't know. I think I'm going to allow it this time. I just don't want to forget to check on that. So, okay, there's a little payoff. This next one is going to cover the gift shop. Okay, so now what is this player going to do? They don't have enough for the Grand Office. They don't have any cubes left. And now this is blocked. So I kind of think the best thing they can do is just turn these in for money. It's unfortunate, but yeah, like that is really rough, honestly. Because they don't have any money to spend over here. They don't have the cubes they need for this. They do have the meeple, but they don't have the cubes. So there's nothing out here that does not take cubes that they could actually do. So that's kind of rough. So that's really sad. 1, 2, 3. They gain that money back. They gain money and they lose these. Okay, but that's it for now. So recover, that is really tough on red. So they take their meeples back. These move over. And then we refill. Okay. So first player is still over here. It's likely that the round is going to end next turn or next round. And why does that matter? Anyway, they're going to have all these payouts. That's the thing. So does he stall one more time? He's coming down. He's going to stall once more. The thing is, this player... Oh, the reason to hurry is that these cubes are going to go to the Grand Office. So when that happens... Oh, you know what? I think red understands that. And so... I think on their turn, they're going to do some free actions. Okay. So... Money. Does money matter right now? block this. No, doesn't want to do that because that would send a cube here. I think they're just going to go for it then. So send this back. So this comes here. Lost the cube. And then at any time, gain 2 workers. Gain 2 extra workers. So do that right now. And gain this extra cube, which happens right here. Okay, so another one comes out, another card comes out. This one goes on top of the gift shop, even though there are cubes there. It's a little confusing. Okay, now... Okay, that was their turn. Now it's Red's turn. Okay, now they can go upgrade for free. So it did stall the upgrade, the free upgrade. And what are they going to take? I think they're going to take the Sugar Shack. No, the vehicle. Go with the most expensive, right? Okay, that was Red. Now Blue. They have 1 cube now, and it's time to start really working on the grant office. So they spend a cube, send it to the grant office, and gain 3 money. So they're at 4. Okay, so Red has 1 more. I think Red is going to take first player now. Oh, they're going to look at this. Okay, next one is Warehouse Wonder. It makes a grant cheaper, so it's going to cover the warehouse. That's an interesting problem. All right, so anyway, that's it. So recover. 1, 2, 3. So Blue is clearly falling behind in terms of power, but they're going to have a 4-worker turn this time. So that's interesting. Okay. By the way, have you been able to hear me okay? You know what, I can just turn on YouTube, I guess, for a second. Have a 4-worker turn. Oh, that's not bad. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's more like the lighting that's weird. Right. Okay, so recovered. We're gonna have to, these move over. And these are gonna fill. This is gonna flip. Now this is gonna be huge, so 14, so they're gonna take 20. Wow, 1, 2. So you get a 20 money payout plus they're at the number of cubes they need for a grant. So that is a big deal. And also they have what they need to take this grant. So that is a big deal, I think. Okay, so that happened. Now this is going to refill. Okay, perfect. I am amazed that my LTE connection is holding up and my laptop is holding up. I'm glad I brought my fan. I think that's making a difference too. It's crazy. And I'm in this like office that's like sealed in pretty well, and so I'm just amazed there's any connection getting through. Really impressed. Okay, so we have first player, and I think the rule is in order to go to a place, you must at least do something there. That's the reason why I allowed this to happen, to block, because you can look at the next card and you can decide to put it at the bottom. So it is technically like being able to do the thing. Well, okay, so now there's a barrel here, and I think this player is going to take the barrel. This needs to flip. Because now the barrel is a bigger payout. Is that the main thing they want to do? They could just go for the instant payout and roll the dice twice. But no, I think they want to work on the grant. So I think they go here. Oh, well, they have a barrel now. Do they want to do that or not? Oh, they could just take this one. Yeah, I think they're going to do that. That's a little bit odd, but the payout will be helpful. So this is going to just go away. And the thing is, now blue's going to be on the defense because this is the third. This is the third card of reds. Did I spend one? I think I did. Okay, and then red will take this right away, take the 8 money. So they're at 3. So it'll be at 11. Okay, now I think this one's gonna go for the grant. So spending 3. Which one? They have 1 cube. Which grant are they gonna take? Blocking doesn't matter. More cubes. What are they gonna do with more cubes? More cubes actually allows more grants too, probably, right? So that's interesting. It rushes toward the end of the game, which is interesting to experiment with. I think, though, I think they just reduce the cost of everything like this. Because now, even this turn, they can go up to the community projects. So that's kind of sweet, actually. So what can red do now that they're out of cubes? Well, one is to add here for free. So that's good. And then it has first player. Block first player. If they have money, they could add an extra meeple.